Thank you very much. I don't know if I deserve the award, but I'm going to take it. Because I don't deserve half the crap I get, and I have to take that. So, feel like I'm at the Academy Award and we made a good movie. So, Ralph, thank you for a kind introduction. I'm going to tape that and send it to my family. The bottom line is, isn't it good to see Ted Cruz come out of his shell? When I first met Ted, he was shy and over the corner. You couldn't get a word out of him. But so let me talk about this award. Thank you. It is a shared award. You know who I would give this award to? You. Without you, there is no Kavanaugh. Without you, there is no Amy Coney Barrett. What did you do to help? You prayed. God does answer prayers, but you got to make them. You watched your television and you wondered, what the heck's going to happen, right? And it all turned out well, because faith and freedom was there when faith and freedom was needed the most. I'm not asking you to get in a wheelbarrow. I'm asking you to go to the voting booth. Seems to be a little safer than what Ted had in mind. But Ted's point is a good point. You got to stand up and be counted. You just can't clap. How many people know Ted's father? He's one of the great preachers of our time. My dad has been long past, but we had a liquor store and a beer joint. But we met a lot of the same people as Ted's dad. The difference between the Baptist and the Methodist will come before the store actually closes. But I came from that background, but my parents, I'm the first in my family to ever go to college, like maybe many of you. Neither one of my parents finished high school. They worked hard. They owned their own business. If you don't show up, you don't get paid. But they allowed me and my sister, who's 9 years younger. I lost my mom when I was 21, and my dad when I was 22, and my sister's 13. And I can tell you, faith matters. Family matters. There are a lot of self-made people in America. I am not one of them. When my life came crashing down, it was my faith and my friends that get me up. And one way to pay people back is to stand up for Brett Kavanaugh when he needed to be stood up for. So I want to thank Donald Trump for nominating over 200 conservative judges. I want to thank Mitch McConnell for having the guts to stand up to the American media and get them all through the United States Senate. I don't see Mitch and Trump going on vacation, but that's okay. We just gotta get to the same place. I don't care if we take different cars, do y'all? So the bottom line is, President Trump delivered, don't you think, for the conservative cause? I was one of 16 people that ran in 2016, and if you don't remember that, it's really not your fault. I didn't last that long. Ted did much better than I did. And during my brief time, I said everything about Donald Trump I could say that was bad. We didn't hit it off. I think I called him a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot, and everything else I could think of. And he said, "Why'd you say all those things?" I said, "Well, that's the only thing I could think of." But I lost big time, and he won. And he called me over to his office and said, "I'd like you to help me." And I said, "I'd be honored to help you. Through you, we're going to do great things, because I think God has put you here, so let's use the time, right?" So the bottom line is, we came to find common ground. That common ground is that he likes him, and I've come to like him. So that will get you through 18 holes of golf. The front nine is about why he likes him. The back nine is why I like him. So And he doesn't drink. Can you imagine if he actually drank? So, from a conservative's point of view, he was the most consequential president since Ronald Reagan. How many of you believe that Israel is our friend? Name one president that was stronger for Israel than Donald Trump. Jerusalem being the capital of Israel, Trump said, yeah, I believe that. And if you got a problem with that, take it up with God, because that was his idea. So from national security, from creating order at the border, to rebuilding the military, the Abraham Accords, cutting our taxes, 200 conservative judges, 3 Supreme Court justices, it was one of the most consequential presidencies in the history of the country. Now, we fell short. There's some shenanigans in these elections, and we need to fix them for future elections. But don't you think it's time to tell America what we will do for them in 2022? Don't you think it's time to tell America there's a better way than what you see on your television? I want to thank the Democratic Party for helping us. They couldn't be here today. Probably because they weren't asked. But without them, we would not be where we are today. They have scared the hell out of every normal person in America. Our goal is to show a better way without scaring the hell out of people. I think the biggest difference between us and them is that they seem to hate a lot of things, like all of us. I really don't hate them, I hate what they're doing. So I believe that love conquers hate, don't you? So here's the challenge. Without your support, there would not be 200 judges on the bench today, average age about 12. Without your support, we would not have been able to accomplish what President Trump was able to accomplish. Without your determination to win in 2022, this country could go the wrong way for another 30 or 40 years if we lose in 2022. We're in a good shape. Redistricting in the House is going to allow us to pick up 4 or 5 seats just because people are moving from blue states to red states. Now, you've done a lot of cheering today, but I want to just end this as serious as I know how. SR1 will change America forever. There's a provision in SR1 that will take away from states the ability to draw congressional lines and give it to an independent commission created in Washington. That means that when people move to South Carolina, Florida, and Texas, and we get new congressmen and women because people are moving and the population shifts, that Republican state houses can't draw those lines, but some Democratic appointed commission. That'll be the end of redistricting as we know it. If they win in 2022 and win again in 2024, they'll abolish the Electoral College, which means that New York and California will pick the president in perpetuity. They will eventually add to the numbers of the Supreme Court, wiping away everything you've worked so hard to create. D.C. will become a state. Puerto Rico will become a state, and there'll be 4 Democratic senators in perpetuity. So, ladies and gentlemen, winning in 2022 is the only option available for conservatism. If we win in 2022, it means the party of Trump is not dead and buried, it's still alive. It means we stop the most radical agenda in the history of mankind coming out of the House. If we can pick up 1 Senate seat, it means we'll have a say about the judges they pick and a lot of other things. It means that I will be the budget chairman, not Bernie Sanders. That's a pretty good trade. So the upside to winning is incredible. The downside of losing is even equally incredible. So the reason that Kavanaugh is on the bench today is because of people like you gave me the courage I needed at the time I needed to be heard. And the only reason anybody listened to me is because I voted for Sotomayor and Kagan, not because I would have picked them, but it used to not be this way. Strom Thurmond voted for Ginsburg, not because he agreed with her, because she was qualified. Hollings from South Carolina voted for Scalia this award named after because he was qualified. Beginning with Judge Bork, Clarence Thomas, Alito, and Kavanaugh, they've declared war on conservative nominees, right? And it's been a steady decline, and it crescendoed with Kavanaugh. And you know what I said? Simply put, y'all go to hell. We're tired of this. That's exactly what I said. This is a good man, not a bad man. You're going to ruin a guy's life based on a party 30 years ago that nobody knows where it was and when it happened. What they were willing to do to him should worry every American. The left doesn't care how they get power. They just want it. They don't care who they have to destroy. They will do what's necessary to get power. They lost in Kavanaugh because of people like you. Faith and freedom is needed today more than ever in the history of the conservative movement. We need you. We need you to get people out of your churches into that voting booth. The bottom line is if they had destroyed Kavanaugh, there would be no Amy Coney Barrett. If they'd gotten away with this, who would want to follow? You'd have to be crazy to want to be nominated if they destroyed Kavanaugh and got away with it. So Donald Trump stood by Kavanaugh. Thank you, President Trump. And Kavanaugh led the way for most awesome human being I think I ever met, Amy Coney Barrett. And let me tell you why she's important. Faith and freedom was there for Amy. Faith and freedom was in the room trying to convince President Trump she's the right lady at the right time. God works in mysterious ways, doesn't he? 43 days before an election, a liberal icon, God rest her soul, Justice Ginsburg, passes away. Do you know how hard it was to do what we did? To get somebody on the Supreme Court in 43 days before an election? You know how we did it? Because you were there helping us. You were there pushing us. You were there praying for us. And here's the big takeaway of Amy Coney Barrett. There's a wonderment in America. Is there a place for religious people anymore at the highest level of government? The answer after Amy Coney Barrett is yes. A woman of faith, a pro-life person, not ashamed of being pro-life, a person who practiced their faith, not just talked about it, is on the Supreme Court today. Let me tell you why this is important. To every young woman who's thinking about going into the public arena, there is a place for you. Amy did it, you can do it. And nobody suffers more, in my view, than minority, African-American, conservative Republicans or pro-life women. They're being marginalized. I got to wrap up, but my desk mate is Tim Scott. God bless Tim Scott. In the world in which we live, he's treated despicably, called Uncle Tom because of his conservative beliefs. Every Republican is a racist. That's a bunch of garbage, and I'm tired of that. So, ladies and gentlemen, we need you in the fight in 2022. You need to find a friend. If you don't have a friend, make one. You need to turn out because we lost the White House by 44,000 votes. 44,000 votes short, and we can argue about being cheated, and there was a lot of shenanigans, right? But let's assume for a moment, could we make up 44,000 votes? You know where those votes lie? In the pews of every church in America. You know where those votes lie? In Hispanic communities looking for a better way. You know where those votes lie? African Americans who are tired of being taken advantage of and taken for granted by the Democratic Party. So I got to go back to South Carolina. I appreciate the heck out of the ward. It's been the most interesting experience of my life to be the judiciary chairman of the Senate. If I had 2 years to live, I'd want to live as chairman of the Judiciary Committee because it seemed forever. Do you understand what we did from 2016 to 2020 for this country? Do you understand how we changed the nature of the court for the next 30 to 40 years? Do you understand how many terrorists we kill that can't kill us? So we got a chance to reset America. And it comes in 2022. If we can pull this off, take back the House and the Senate, then 2024 becomes ours to lose. Imagine 4 more years of Donald Trump policies. God bless you all.